Anubis frightened everyone he encountered, and with good reason. He wasn't an ordinary dog. The veterinarian noticed this the moment Jason and his pet walked through the door, and immediately called the police. Jason sat in the waiting room, unaware of what was about to happen, but soon the police would make him regret buying this dog. Jason's first instinct was to grab Anubis and run. He couldn't understand why the vet had called the police, but he wasn't willing to risk losing his beloved pet. However, it was already too late. Before he could leave the clinic, officers arrived. He had no intention of surrendering without a fight, but once the police began to explain, his demeanor changed. Suddenly, it all made sense. Anubis was not just a dog. How could I not have noticed this for so long? Jason hadn't planned on buying a dog that day, but the moment he locked eyes with Anubis, he couldn't walk away. The yellowish eyes and sharp ears struck him. The seller at the farmer's market, who clearly didn't care much for the animals, explained that everyone thought the dog was too vicious and that he would probably be put down. Hearing this, Jason couldn't abandon him. He paid, knowing full well his wife Monica would be against it, especially since they had 4-year-old twins. To Jason's surprise, Anubis was incredibly calm both during the ride home and upon meeting the children. Though Monica was furious at Jason's unilateral decision, her anger softened when she heard what fate awaited the dog. They agreed to keep a close watch on the kids around him. Anubis turned out to be a wonderful family dog and a formidable guardian, whose intimidating appearance made people avoid them during walks. Yet his stoic, almost emotionless demeanor troubled Jason, so he booked a vet appointment. At the clinic, other visitors were frightened of Anubis and were asked to wait outside. That's when the senior veterinarian noticed them. Unlike the others, he showed no fear, only curiosity, as he examined the dog, then offered to fast-track the appointment if Jason allowed him to perform the checkup personally. Jason agreed. Inside the office, the vet barely listened to Jason. He carefully studied Anubis, then abruptly stepped out, locking the door behind him. 15 minutes later, with no sign of the vet returning, an angry Jason forced the door open. Calmly, the vet informed him that he had called the police, who would arrive any minute. Jason tried to escape, but outside officers and animal control were already waiting. He was ready to resist, but one of the policemen explained the situation. The senior vet had recognized Anubis. This was Zolo, a dog that belonged to a famous religious leader in Mexico City who preached the revival of Aztec traditions. According to legend, dogs of this breed guided the dead to the afterlife. Zolo had been trained to remain completely still during funeral rites, symbolizing the god's indifference to the soul of the deceased. A few months earlier, the dog had been stolen by non-believers, and it was assumed he had been killed. Somehow, he had ended up with that careless vendor. Jason now understood he had to return the dog to his rightful owner. Parting with Zolo was painful, but the dog was returned to his master. The wealthy religious leader generously rewarded Jason. Later, the family adopted another dog, this time with full documentation and with everyone's agreement. Jason still sometimes thinks of Anubis, but he knows he did the right thing.